July the 20th, 2016. Apparently nuclear generating stations now are the top carbon-free energy source on the planet. Yeah. Or is it? Let's have a look. They say nuclear is carbon-free because they dump the stuff in the ocean and they don't have to pay for it that way. So when they tell you that nuclear is carbon-free, they're not talking about the 2 trees that are left here. They're not talking about this empty site that's abandoned. They're not talking about the thousands of people and equipment and the time and energy and water used and the chemical used in this mine to get uranium. No. They say you can put all the nuclear waste in the world in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. This is much bigger than an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and this is just a very, very tip. There's your carbon-free nuclear fuel rod storage throughout your entire country. Think about this. This is in metric tons. This is only up to 2011. Did the nuclear power plant stop producing it? No. Do they got anywhere to put it? Sure. All over your country, in your backyards, in your communities. Why are they storing it in these places? Because they got nowhere to put it, because nuclear is carbon-free. Hell, forget the nuclear rods. Worry about the nuclear waste throughout your country. It's everywhere. Carbon-free, the words carbon-free and nuclear are the stupidest thing imaginable. But they keep saying it all day, everywhere you go, in every textbook, in every school and institution, and every TV and radio, and every international story about this. They say stuff like it's carbon-free, it's carbon-free. How? You got waste everywhere. You can't deal with it. You don't know what to do with it. You can't afford to hold on to it. You can't come up with the money to keep it safe so the terrorists don't get it. And somebody will have to dig this carbon-free nuclear waste up in the future and package it and store it, and that'll take thousands of people and hundreds of trucks, and it'll take enormous amounts of resources and times and energy. Gee, I wonder how many miles this thing gets to the 45-gallon drum. So like every aspect of nuclear is not carbon-free or anything close to it. So nuclear they claim is carbon-free, but instead of storing it like they're supposed to for thousands of years and paying for that, they release it into the ocean. It's like you just can't trust these people no matter what they tell you. The words carbon-free don't include Fukushima Daiichi, I can assure you. Not going to include the 3,000 years and the thousands and thousands and thousands of people and their automobiles and equipment and everything else. No, because nuclear won't be carbon-free anymore if you do that. So how the hell is this carbon-free? How do you go and say that this doesn't exist, that this is not part of the operating cost, that this is not part of the nuclear industry? How? Why do you ignore this when you're talking about how much money it costs us for a nuclear power plant? And how the hell is this not included in the carbon scheme? You would bankrupt America to clean up Hanford. It has billions and billions and billions of gallons of highly radioactive materials dumped directly into the soil, 41 miles of unlined trenches where they dump the most dangerous radioactive materials imaginable. You can't clean up Hanford anyway. You don't have the technology. But it's nuclear is carbon-free, Dana. You would bankrupt America to clean up Hanford, but you would bankrupt the entire planet to clean up America. You have over 15,000 abandoned uranium mines just in the Navajo Nations. You got any idea what all this is leaching into the water is doing to those communities? Yet somehow or another nuclear is carbon-free. No digging, no gathering, no playing, no collecting, no growing, no corralling. This is an ex-uranium mine in Navajo country. They just pack it up and move away and leave all the mess behind because it's carbon-free. It's so carbon-free you can't eat or grow or hang out or build anything here because it's carbon-free. There's no other industry on this planet That makes so much land contaminated you can never use it again. In communities, in rivers, in countries. Each power plant is going to boil, say, 1 million gallons a minute. Well, in each glass of water, there's 1 billion creatures. Not to mention eggs and larvae and small fries. 1 billion creatures per glass, 16 million glasses per minute on the average nuclear power plant being boiled into the environment. At the same time, radioactive isotopes are mixed in with this. That's why there's 6 times more breast cancer around nuclear power plants. That's why there's double the leukemia rate, killer leukemia for children around nuclear power plant, because these things never stop polluting. There's no such thing as carbon free, but nuclear is by far the worst carbon producer on the planet. Imagine 1 billion creatures per glass of water, 16 million glasses per minute per nuclear reactor. No, Dana, it's okay, Dana, it's carbon free. Well, what we got here is some good old-fashioned carbon-free nuclear equipment. How much carbon-free material went into making it, how much steel, and how much carbon-free material went in to get that material, to get the steel just to make that. How many 45-gallon drums of fuel does that go through an hour? You know, the carbon-free is such a lie, it's unbelievable when you start looking at it. They've been killing big old dogs and big old puppies for almost 70 years. This guy's been doing it for 35 years. This study here, 144 big old dogs. And every dog died within 5 years. This has been going on for 70 years. In every country, every dog has died. How much money does it cost to produce all these studies? And how come that's not in the carbon cycle? Is that not part of the equation? Free! And if they admit that that is an issue, they have to admit everything else is an issue, like, oh, and let's not even talk about all the missile silos all over your country. Oh, and it's not just Nebraska. Oh, no, it's Montana, and the entire country's like this. Nuclear has just wrecked everything. You know, these are nuclear power plants in your communities. There's 6 times more breast cancer around each of these power plants in your communities. Not to mention the dump sites I was showing you earlier, and the nuclear waste sites, and the missile silos, and everything else. But just the nuclear power plants is double leukemia for children. There's an increase of heart, liver, lung, respiratory, pituitary, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia. They show up before the cancer around these sites. But as carbon, nuclear is fucking you and everybody else on the planet. The best thing you can do is go up and give it back to them just as good. Hugs for everybody. See you next time. Take care, folks. And the carbon cycle would include getting rid of all the dead dogs' bodies.
But you have other kinds of risks that they never really want to talk about. One of the ones that really jumps out at me, they closed down 2 nuclear power plants in California, and almost immediately there was a precipitous drop in the infant mortality rate in a 50-mile radius, because no one likes to talk about it, but nuclear power plants put out radioactive gases that can be real harmful to babies and